What's going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports. Golf's back. We're back into the fall swings. So, we got Snyder, we got Hoop. We're bringing you guys the Strokes Gain show over here at Rumpier Sports. Snyder, how's it going, my man? How was your Ryder Cup? Did you play any events or anything like that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I played in put a few lineups in for that final day and ended up doing pretty well. I had majority of the guys that won, so I cashed all right. I mean, it wasn't anything great or nothing, but it was definitely profit there. I mean, the weekend was good. I mean, college football was good. Had a sweat there Saturday night. NFL was solid, so ready to get into the PGA swing here.
You were sending me those texts about playing Josh Allen, and I didn't play him like a donkey. And Hoop graded him the best quarterback play on the slate too. And I'm like, I should have listened to Hoops.
I didn't take enough of my own advice, unfortunately. I loved him, and as the week went on, I mean, I kept the tag on there because I knew he'd probably come in a little bit lower. So I really liked him in tournaments. I played a little bit, but not enough. Didn't have the right pairing, and for cash games, I mean, it was the same. I had the same mindset all week. I said in every show we did, every piece of content, I said for cash games, I said I like Josh Allen, but if I have enough money, I'll just get up to Lamar. And unfortunately, I had enough money to get up to Lamar. I wish I would have just stopped at Josh Allen because, you could just tell. I mean, you could tell he was close. I know this is a PGA show, so we're not going to get, deep into it, but you could just tell he was close. I mean, the week before he had that rushing touchdown, I believe was called back. They put it at the half-yard line. He's very close to having big weeks, and he's just such a phenomenal fantasy quarterback. And long story short, yeah, I wish I would have listened to my own advice a little bit more. I played him, but not enough.
Yeah, I hear you guys. All right, guys, if you're new to the show, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The subscribe button is right there, that big red button at the bottom right corner of the page. Go ahead and hit that so that you are alerted every time that we go live. We're tackling Sanderson Farms this week. I think it's at Jackson Country Club. Snyder, let me kick it back to you. Just give us a little brief overview of what we could expect from the course this week.
I've been messing with my.
You got to take a drink now. If you don't have one, go get one. I can talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Simon said my volume might be a little off for my microphone, so I was adjusting on that. I don't know if I fixed it. Hopefully I did. But, yeah, the Sanderson Farms Championships held here at the Country Club at Jackson. Par 72 measures 7,461 yards. The Bermuda greens here are bigger than average. So speed's around 12. There's going to be 5 holes that have water in play here. 56 bunkers will litter the property here. The Bermuda rough is only 2 inches long, but it can leave some of these golfers with some tough lies at times if the ball sinks to the bottom of this grass. Accuracy off the tee is a plus here with these tree-lined fairways. The par 5s play generally a little tougher here than normal events as the golfers look to score more on these short par 4s. 7 of the 10 are playing under 450 yards, and this track really doesn't set up for any certain type of golfer, with lots of long shots I've won here recently. So some of the key stats I'll be looking at is approach, off the tee, birdies are better percentage, and putting with an emphasis on Bermuda.
Yeah, I like that. Driving distance is something I'm looking at too. I just think, in weak fields like this, give me a guy that can drive the ball a long ways. Par 72, a lot of par 5s to tackle. I think they're going to get a slight advantage. So again, if you're new to the show, we go tier by tier, starting with the 10K and up range. I'm going to kick it over to my guy Hoop first. Hoop, where are you at in the 10K range? Who are you on this week?
Yeah, I mean, not the typical 10K range that we're used to. I mean, we don't have any of the big boys to kind of lean on this week. And you look at this field. And obviously it's a weak one, so that's why we're kind of stuck with this range. I mean, Sam Burns, Zalatoris, Garcia, Corey Connors make up this 10K range, and these are guys that we're typically not paying this much money for. Right at the top, the first guy, Sam Burns. We love Sam Burns. We love what he's done for us. He's treated the RPS people quite well. But 11K, I am not all that interested in Sam Burns. I'm going to pass on Sam Burns. Zalatoris at 10-8. Now, I think I have a little more interest in Zalatoris, and I don't know the projected ownership or anything at this point, but I feel pretty comfortable getting overweight on Zalatoris at 10-8. And I really feel that you can't play both those guys. So if you like Burns, you like Zalatoris, I think you probably need to make a decision between one or the other. And for me, it's going to be Zalatoris. Garcia, Sergio coming off the Ryder Cup. Definitely not going to play him at 10-5. Sungjae at 10-3. Don't have a ton of interest in Sungjae, although he was playing a little bit better towards the end of the season. So maybe I changed my mind there. Then Corey Connors at 10-1. Connors kind of fell off at the end. We were riding him for a while, but really wasn't all that impressive down the stretch. So I'll be off Connors. The one, like I said, I feel most comfortable with is Zalatoris at this point. And, maybe I could be talked into somebody else, but, this is not the typical 10K range that we see in a PGA Tour event. So being underweight here, I think is, totally fine. And the chances of getting burned this week being underweight in the 10K range is a lot less than it is in a, normal loaded field.
Yeah, very good. Snyder, let me kick it over to you. I'm gonna go ahead and bet that there's one guy that you're going to be locked arm in arm with Hoop on this week, and that's Willie Z. What are you doing with the 10K range? Are you high on Willie Z this week?
Yeah, I'm not really looking too much at these guys up here in this 10K range, as I prefer some of the guys a little cheaper than that. And I won't be playing the normal volume that I usually do for a PGA event with all this other action we got going on with football and college football and whatnot. So I'll be playing maybe a little less lineups. Like I won't be multi-entering, but I'll be hitting these 1 to 3 max entries and stuff like that. But Will Zalatoris is definitely a guy I'm going to be targeting on. He started out the season strong with an 11th place finish at the Fortinet, hit 81% of his greens, but he did struggle with the putter some there, which, that's just typical with him. Sungjae he finished last season strong form. I don't mind going to him if I have the salary. Corey Connors, strong iron player, great accuracy off the tee. He's made 3 or 4 cuts here. Finished second in 2018, so I'm definitely interested in him. But I think that's it for me in this range. We got 5 guys in this 10K range. I couldn't imagine clicking Sergio's name. Sam Burns 11K. Yeah, I can't pay that price for him. So I'm just going to be focusing mainly on Zalatoris and Connors. Him would be the third.
Yeah, very good. We are all kind of on the same page. I like Willie Z. I don't know how high I'll be on him though. I'm fading Sam Burns. He's our guy. I just, like you guys said, I think as we go down, there's guys I want exposure to in the mid range. Sergio, very easy fade. I'm not going to play Sungjae. No, actually, I don't mind. I like Sungjae. I was thinking about. I was thinking of Siwoo Kim. I'm not on Siwoo Kim. We'll get to him in the next range. I don't mind Sungjae. I actually like Corey Connors. And so I guess I like this range a little bit more than you guys. I do want exposure to some of these guys just because I like their win equity in a weak field like we have this week. So for me, it's Willie Z, Connors, and M if they fit my builds. Let's get down to this 9K range, which I think it's much more loaded. Snyder, I'm going to start with you this time. Talk to me about the 9K range. Where are you at?
Yeah, there's some guys that really stick out to me here. I was on Vito right off the Corn Ferry last year. He's a guy I'm going to continue to target early on in this swing season. I feel a win is on the horizon for him. Wouldn't be surprised if it came here. 3rd place finish at the Fortnite. He's right in form again. I just love this kid. 9.9 seems a little high. Hopefully it'll keep people off of him, but I think he's got the upside to pay off that price tag. Sebastian Munoz, he's a course horse here. He's made all 4 of his cuts. He won this event back in 2019. Had some solid outings to finish last season, so I'll definitely be looking at him. Cam Davis, just a really good boom bust upside type guy in this range. Second and birdies are better over the last 24 rounds. He's bettered his finish in his last 3 trips here as well, finishing 6th last year. And I always have some interest in Charlie Hoffman. He's got that high upside. solid finishes at the end of the season as well. Comes to this track where he's had good success. He finished 6th last year and 23rd the year before. So those are the guys I'll be looking at in this range going into this event.
Yeah, Charlie Hoffman. I mean, he's a guy that we were high on to close the season. So I like that call. Hoop, same question. I'll kick it back over to you. 9K range. Quite a few more options, I think. Who are you looking at in this range?
Yeah, much more interested in this range. Mostly agree with Snyder. Like I definitely like Mito at 9.9, and he's the guy that was playing solid in some of these more loaded fields last season, and gets a real soft one here. Now you're paying more of a premium at 9.9K, but I agree. I think we're going to see this guy winning at some point, and I like the upside. So definitely have interest in him. My favorite guy, I think, in this range is Cameron Tringale at 9.4K. Another guy that's been playing very solid golf, kind of turned it on at the end of last season. And again, is a guy that has shown the ability to compete in more loaded fields. And this week he gets a soft one. I like Munoz, another guy that kind of was hot to end the year last year. Charlie Hoffman at 9K. I mean, we were riding Charlie pretty strong to end the season, and I'm going to go right back to him at 9K. I mean, just phenomenal ball striking. Has been playing just solid golf, and has the ability to easily pay off his price tag. Guys, I'm not going to play like Harold Varner. I don't know. He's one of those guys that I'm not on the right side of him ever, and I'm sure he's going to have some ownership this week, but. I'm going to get more in the habit of staying away from these guys that I don't like. We made a couple leaps last season. I mean, I made the Ricky Flower mistake. I know AP, you made the Ricky Flower mistake. Like if I don't typically play guys, I'm just not going to play them this year. And if it burns me, it burns me. Varner's a guy that's going to start out on that list this year because I just can't get him right. Last season, every time I was on him, he sucked. When he was chalk, he sucked. When I was off him, I don't know. I'm done with him. So long story short, I'm not going to be on Varner. Could potentially play some Cam Davis. I mean, he's a guy in these weaker fields, par 72 course that I don't mind looking up. So yeah, a lot more interest here than in that 10K range.
Yeah, I can understand that. I have a little bit of interest in Varner just because he's been playing good. T11, T12, T16 his last 3 finishes. And the one thing I'm seeing ownership wise is people are kind of glued into Mito, they're glued into Corey Connors, and they're glued into Charlie Hoffman. They're all projected to be over 20% owned. So for me, the other thing is when we get to swing season, there's so much going on. MLB is starting to die down. We have NFL in full swing. I don't think people are that focused on PGA right now. So what I typically see happen is ownership tends to concentrate on whoever's popping, whatever the sites are putting out, whatever optimal, whoever's popping the optimal, you're going to see inflated ownerships. And so I think even though I like some of these guys like Charlie Hoffman, I'm really trying to decide, like, do I really want to play or get high exposure to, a 9K, 25% plus owned Charlie Hoffman? Those are the type of decisions. I don't have a final answer yet. In my tournament notes on the playbook, I'll provide some information there. But just looking at it, like Cam Davis, Harold Varner, Sebastian Munoz, and Keegan Bradley are all projected to be much lower owned. And so actually, and I don't even know how I skipped right over Keegan Bradley. He's actually my favorite guy in this range. He's the guy I think that wins this week. I love his ball striking. I love his approach game. The other thing about this course that I've seen is bad putters can win here. So obviously I'm naturally going to be very interested in Keegan Bradley. So for me in this range, I'm going to keep it really simple. I like Keegan. I'm going to be very overweight on him. I do like Mito. I don't really want to fade him. I think he's going to be very popular. Snyder, you hit the nail on the head with this guy. Like, you were on him, I think, before a lot of people were, and this dude's been an absolute machine for us. So even though he's going to be chalk, I don't want to fade him for that reason. So I'm going to have him in my player pool for sure. But we can find different ways to get different. And then those other guys, I'll probably have them in my pool as well. But I don't like them as much as I like Keegan Bradley. So for me in this range, real simple. I'm going to say Keegan 1, Mito 2. Snyder, real quick, did you have 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, I'm going to go Mito 1, and I'm going to go Hoffman 2.
I like that. Hoop 1 and 2, and then take us down into the 8K range.
Yeah, Tringali 1, and then Hoffman 2. Really like both those guys. 8K range, I think, is a good range to, kind of take advantage of some lower owned guys. I don't think there's going to be a ton of ownership in this range. So you start at the top with a guy like Kevin Streelman at 8.9K, a guy that has shown some upside, a guy that I definitely like playing in more of these weaker field events. Probably going to have some exposure to him. Seamus Power at 8.8, a guy that kind of turned it on for us late last season. And, this is a big boy price tag for him, 8.8, but he's kind of earned that. So going to have some interest in him. I don't want to get you too excited, AP, but your boy Matty Wolf is kind of staring me in the eye here, right in the middle, 8.5K. Fresh start for him. I think like a new season is something that he could definitely benefit from. A lot of ups and downs last year, really never got it together, no consistency. I have interest in him in turn. I'm assuming low ownership. I'm assuming he's going to come in at low ownership, 8.5K, fresh start here. I want him. And I'm hoping, it's not going to take a ton. I'm hoping, he's going to come in less than 10% owned. If I play 15 to 20, I'll be double the field. And I think that will most likely be the case. Another guy that I think can benefit from a fresh start, Gary Woodland, 8.4K, a guy that very talented, major winner. I'm gonna look him up a little bit here as well. Patton Kizzire I like at 8.2. And I'm assuming, like I said, this is kind of more of a first look for me, but I'm assuming Doug Gim is going to be pretty highly owned this week. People love Doug Gim at this sort of price tag.
He's not. He's
really?
Coming in very low owned. Yeah.
Really?
I was surprised
I'll be
too.
shocked.
I think the ownership may be wrong. I'm with you there.
I think so. People love this guy. They jam him at all these events. I was just assuming, like I said, that he's going to be high owned. If he's going to be low owned, I'd definitely have a lot more interest. As it stands now, I'm torn. I guess I'm going to have to dig a little bit because I was just assuming that he would be high owned because everyone loves playing this guy. So, like I said, I think there's some good opportunity in GPPs here. I don't think it's going to be a highly owned range. Wolf, I think, is interesting. Gary Woodland, Seamus Power, probably, the three guys that I'm really looking at here that I'm hoping the ownership stays in check on these guys.
Yeah. You'll get Gary Woodland pretty low on too. So, that guy, he's hurt my feelings quite a bit. I'm a Gary Woodland guy too. I mean, when he's winning at least, but really this range I think is going to be key this week, guys. Like there are some really good plays. I think you have guys with win equity, win upside in this range. Snyder, 8K range. Are you kind of in line with Hoop this week, or where are you getting different?
Oh yeah, I agree with a lot of what he said there. For me, starting up here near the top, we got Kevin Streelman. He's another course horse here. He's made 3 of his 4 cuts here. He's finished 4th, 10th, and 18th. Had a couple top 20s to finish the year last year. I like the price tag with him here in this weaker field. I think he can pay that off pretty easily. Another guy I was really high on last year, he made it on my main build quite often, Seamus Power. He won at the Barbasol back in July. He's got great course history here. He's finished inside the top 20 in 3 of his last 4 trips here. Just a guy, he had a couple top 10s and then capped it off with that win. Just another guy I like in this price range. I'll be going to him for sure. Your boy Matty Wolf, he'll be interesting here for GPPs. We all know that upside that he brings to the table, but he just did not have the type of success we figured he would last season. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out this year. I mean, he could come out with a bang here. I mean, I think this course should set up well for him, so I'll be looking to him. Aaron Wise, he's just another guy. He's just been a super consistent cut maker. He's made 9 of his last 10 cuts, ranks number 1 in birdies or better over the last 24 rounds. He's made the cut here the last 3 times. Solid mid-range target, I think, here, only 8.3. A guy I like for GPPs will be CT Pan here, 8.1. So I think he'll come in really low owned, good GPP type guy. He's got that boom bust nature to him. He finished 12th here last year, and he started the season off strong with that sixth place finish at the Fortinet. That's about it. I mean, I thought Doug Gim would be quite popular as well, so I wasn't looking to him much. Patton Kazire is another guy I could be interested in. I know Carlos Ortiz has a lot of good course history here, so I think he'll be more popular as well. So that's where I'm leaning as of right now.
Yeah, you just mentioned my favorite guy in this range, Carlos the Kid Ortiz, 8.6K. Really good history here. Third in 19, fourth in 2020. Then he missed the cut last year. But man, this is a guy that finally broke through, finally got his win. I love him in this range. I think he is one of the guys that has some nice win equity in a weak field. Matt Wolff is one of the other guys. Hoop, you said it perfectly. A fresh start for him. We have no idea where he's at mentally. That was his issue last year. Is he was dealing with some mental health stuff, is kind of what he said, and so we don't know where he's going to be at. The things I saw golf wise is the guy was struggling to score, specifically on par fives. Like, he was one of the best par five scorers, and if I look at his last 24 rounds, he ranks 34th in this field, which isn't terrible at all. But this is a guy that can bomb it further than anyone else in this field. He used to be able to hang with Bryson, not anymore. Bryson's starting to lap the field. Everyone in driving, like, this guy is, I mean, if you watch the long drive stuff today, it was insane. Man, he was just owning those guys. Even Snyder's laughing. Man, I mean, Snyder, you're a Bryson fan now, aren't you? I can see it. Look at that. Look at that giggle. Oh, Snyder. Look at that. Oh, man. We're going to get you onto Bryson this year. I have a feeling. Aaron Wise is another guy I like. He's projected to be one of the more popular plays in this range. He's been very consistent of late. Like, he's made 5 straight cuts. He's made 3 straight cuts in this event. His game across the board is really good. The only area where he struggles is his putter. And this is a place where if you go back and look at the guys that have done well here, they aren't necessarily good putters at all. So I do have some interest in Aaron Wise. And then, yeah, Doug Gim, I have him start. I saw the ownership projection, and I'm like, this is a guy that he's, talented. And his form is kind of shaky, but it finished 23rd here last year. I mean, 8K feels a little expensive, so I could see this being one of those guys I talk about now, but then end up cutting later as I'm trying to cut down my player pool. So I'm kind of on the fence, but I got to say Carlos Ortiz is my one, and then I'm going to go Matt Wolff. I got to go back to my guy. I'm going to say he's my number 2 in this range. I think he's going to be low owned. I think it's going to be easy to get overweight on him. Hoop, give me your 1 and 2 in this range.
Yeah, like I said, more of a GPP type range for me. Number 1, I'm gonna say is Kazire. I like Kazire a lot, and then number 2, I'm gonna go Wolff. I really like him, and like I said, have you seen any ownership, either of you guys, on him? Like, the number wise, it's got to be low, right? Real low.
8%.
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping. And then, to be double the field, 15 to 20, and you're good. I like win tournaments. So, yeah, give me Wolff too.
Yeah, I like that. Snyder, 1 and 2, and then take us down to the 7K range.
I'm going to go Seamus Power as my 1, and then I'm going to go Aaron Wise too. And for the 7K range, I have quite a bit of interest here, mainly because a lot of the young studs that I'm looking to attack early in this season are going to be in this range. You can start it off with Taylor Pendrith. He played the par 5s great at the Fortinet, 10 under. He did struggle some on the par 4s. He shot even on those. He'll be looking to improve that iron play. He's another one of these young guns that I just want to be on early in this season. I know he's one of the more well-known guys, but I want to be on a lot of these guys before the public gets there. Scott Stallings, he's best suited for like these weaker type field events. I like to target him in these type of events. He's coming off that 6th place finish at the Fortinet. He's bettered his finish in his last 4 appearances here as well. He's went 43rd, 39th, 28th, and then 6th last year. So I don't mind him. Aaron Rye, he's at 7.3. He had really good success on the Euro Tour, hit 78% of his greens at that last event, but the putter just really didn't work out for him there. It cost him to miss the cut narrowly. I like him to bounce back here this week, though. Moore's a guy at 7.1. He was right off the Korn Ferry Tour as well. I want to attack this guy early in the year. I know he didn't do well in that first event, but he's just a guy. He was 10th in greens and reg, 8th in birdie average on the Korn Ferry last year. I look for him to bounce back too. I mean, I think he'll come in at quite low ownership as he burned some people last week, but I like him. Svensson, another Korn Ferry guy I'm be looking out for early in this year. Strong iron player, was 11th in greens and regulation, 6th in driving accuracy, and 4th in birdies average on the Korn Ferry last year. Ramey, 7.0. He lost over 3 strokes putting at that Ford net, but is another Korn Ferry guy that I want to consider here in GBPs this week. Only 7K. Great price tag, I feel. His odds are really good for his price tag as well. I expect the putter to be much better this year. He actually ranked 12th on the Korn Ferry in putting last year, so I'm gonna just mark that last event off as an outlier event there. And that's mainly what I'm on for right now. There's some other guys you could look at, like a Luke List or Lucas Glover's in this range. Ryan Armour probably get some ownership. Lipsky, Ches Reeves, another guy. I think Ches Reeves will be pretty popular. I don't mind him as well. I mean, he's popping on the models and stuff, so I think he'll catch some ownership. But I think that's going to be about it for me in this range. I just want to target these young studs and just get overweight on them as much as I can.
Yeah, one thing to do if you're a member is go over to the playbook. It's up right now. It's live. You're going to see one thing that we did is we targeted it like a lot of these guys that have really good Vegas odds. Chad Ramey. How do you pronounce his name, Snyder? So I don't get butchered.
I was just saying Ramey. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, 65-1. He's 7K. Taylor Moore, 70-1. He is 7.1K. If we go up to like Henrik Norlander, a guy that we all know, 150-1. He's more expensive than those guys. So if you like to side with Vegas, we have it spelled out very nicely over at the playbook. So go check that out. I think this section we kind of have it nailed pretty good. And Snyder, you were kind of leading that up this week too. So very good job on that. Hoop, 7K range. What are you doing with these guys?
Yeah, it's a pretty big range in terms of the number of golfers. Starting at the top, this Pendrith guy, a lot of hype around him, and a guy that potentially should be pretty good on tour. And like Snyder said, these are the types of guys you want to get on now, opposed to after they start to pick up some steam. There's still a lot of uncertainty around them. They're more unknown type guys. So give me some Pendrith at 7.8K. Ches Reeves, I'm going to play for sure at 7.7K. Patrick Rogers, 7.6K, a guy that we like to play in these weaker type fields. Good price tag here. Give me some Patrick Rogers. Chris Kirk, I like at 7.5. Just seems, better golfer than a lot of these guys down here. Proven commodity on the PGA Tour. Kind of streaky too. He kind of runs hot, runs cold. I like Kirk at 7.5. Come down a little bit. It kind of gets towards a little bit of a dead range for me, 7.3, 7.2, but you come down, a guy like Matt Wallace, I like at 7.1K, a guy that kind of spiked towards the middle of last season. This Moore guy, I know Snyder likes him, so Snyder likes him. I like him. He did not treat me well. I believe it was at the Fortinet. He sucked. He was pretty bad, but he's young, and I'm going to give him another chance for sure. Nick Taylor is my boy. He's only 7K. I'll definitely be on him. This Chad Ramey, however you pronounce the name, like Vegas loves this guy. At that last event, he was like 50-1 as well. And I mean, he sucked, but they're clearly seeing something in this dude because his odds are very, very short every time he tees it up. So I'll have some of him at 7K. And then the last guy, Roger Sloan, $7,000 flat. Another guy that we've kind of been on a little bit lately, and I think he definitely has some upside at 7K. And he went on a little heater at the end of the season as well. So I do like some Roger Sloan.
Yeah, so I got to start with Patrick Rogers. I'm a Patty Rod guy. We always recommend him when he's in the 6K, like 6'4", 6'7". And we always recommend him when he's playing in California. That is not the case this week. The other thing, and now if you think back to the start of the show, I said a lot of people right now, they're stretched thin. We're focused on NFL. We're focused on these other sports, MLB, last week of regular season MLB. It's taking people's focus away. Patrick Rogers is projected to be over 10% at 7.6K. And if you look at kind of what he's done over his last 24 rounds, it kind of supports that. He's going to be a guy that pops in these optimal builds in the projections. And I don't like it. He's actually a fade for me this week. We're not in California. Like, maybe he fools me. And maybe he continues to play well. But I'm telling you, this is the spot where he just doesn't get it done. He's been really relying and leaning on a hot putter too. So at an elevated price tag, what I would say is if my guy Pat Rogers beats me, he beats me. I'm going to be off of him though this week. A guy I do like who's going to be half of his ownership and is a dude that looks very good across the board, except for his putter. And he finished second here in 2017 is Luke List. Luke List, so the theme that I'm going to keep saying is, you can play bad putters here. Luke List, like when I'm looking at everything, he checks every single box. And one of the boxes I'm not looking at is how good are you at putting? And so I really like Luke List this week. I think, I'm showing in projected to be right around 6 to 7% owned. So I think that's a nice leverage off of Pat Rogers. I wouldn't blame anyone for playing Pat Rogers. I think he's a good talent and good golfer, but man, he's a guy that can tilt you too. So I'm going to move off of him. I do like Taylor Pendrith. I think he was, no, I'm thinking of someone else. I think you guys mentioned him, the guy who I think he tilted you too last at the Fortnite, whatever they want to call it. Wasn't Taylor Pendrith. This guy looks good. He ranks first in driving distance in this field. So it looks like he's outdoing my guy, Matty Wolf. So you love to see it. He ranks first in par 5 scoring. Those are two things I'm looking at. He ranks first off the tee, and he's been very consistent as a cut maker. So I have a ton of interest in him. Joseph Bramlett is another guy, bad putter, but he won the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. Very good off the tee, ranks second in driving distance, 5th in ball striking, 4th in approach, 7th in par 5 scoring over his last 24 rounds. His putter sucks though. Again, he fits the mold that I'm looking for this week. I'm not worried about bad putters. If you're a bad putter, it's fine. I'm just going to lean on that stat. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure some of these guys will tilt me, but I'm sure some of them are going to be at the top too. So keep going down. I actually have this is like a pure tournament play, but this guy has some okay tournament history. He's played this event 4 times. He's made the cut 3 of the 4 times, and he's actually on a nice little cut making streak. And these older guys, so Scott Piercy is the guy I'm talking about. He looked good at the Fortnite Championship. This is a guy that literally, with all the talent that's coming up, if I'm him, and if I'm I'll talk about him, and he's in the 6K range, they need to take advantage of the swing season when we have weak fields, like to keep their card moving forward. I'm just telling you, all these young guys that are just loaded with talent are going to push these older guys like Scott Piercy out of the PGA Tour. And so I think if I'm like a Scott Piercy type, you got to be extra motivated in an event like this. So like I have a little bit of interest in him. He's going to make my MME pool. Bronson Burgoon, another guy that's just fall swing. Whenever the fall swing season comes, I am always interested in this guy. He takes advantage of weak fields. We've seen it. He's finished 32nd, 2nd, and 16 his last 3 events. His ball striking has been awesome. His putter sucks, but again, that's a stat that I'm discounting this week. So I'll have a little bit of shares of him. Keep going down. Taylor Moore. Okay, that was the guy I was thinking about earlier that tilted us. He's projected to be 1 to 2% owned this week. And wasn't he chalky like in that the Fortnite event? Snyder, do you remember? Like, wasn't he fairly popular?
Yeah, because everyone's following Snyder's picks, and Snyder was all over him.
Yeah.
Snyder bumped up that ownership.
He crushed it at the end of that Corn Ferry season. I mean, he was like consistently top 10 and stuff. I think the bright lights just might have been too much for him. You know how we saw Mito, he missed that cut in his first event ever. And then
kind of like when Mangone golfed with you guys. The bright lights got to him, right?
Love to see it.
Man, I was playing good up until we got put on the clock. Those guys behind us were waiting for us. It was a rough season. Snyder, we missed so like Snyder spotted me 2 strokes. I had to be a live heavy favorite through 8 holes, right?
Yeah, I think.
And then a matter of
few holes were rough for me. I lost. I think I had like 5 or 6 penalty strokes or something.
And I went missed par putt, birdie, missed par putt, par. And it was. And then I went snowman, double, triple, double, and then Snyder was a favorite again. So it was fun. But Chad Ramey, like we said, 65-1. Taylor Moore, like we just mentioned, 70-1. I'm gonna be on these guys. I just, I want to side with Vegas there. Vegas obviously knows that there's something, there's talent with these guys. So I think that's the sharp move and the sharp play. But for me in this range, and the one guy I didn't even talk about is Ches Reavie. He's another guy that I want to play over Pat Rogers. He's 65-1 to win this week. The one surprise, I want to know why Vegas, they've never given Pat Rogers this much love. This dude, he's always like 200 to 1 to win. He's 60-1. So I think he's overinflated. I'm going to stick with my call to fade, and I'm going to go Luke List 1, and then I'm going to go Ches Reavie 2 for me in this range. But I do think there's a lot of good options in this range. Snyder, you're 1 and 2.
I'm going to go Taylor Moore 1, and then I'm going to go with this Chad Ramey number 2.
I like it. Hoop 1 and 2, and then take us into the 6K range.
I'm gonna agree with Ches. I'm gonna go Ches 1, and then I'm gonna go Roger Sloan number 2. I like some Sloan this week. 6K range. I mean, there's a ton of guys down here that I think are playable and viable. I mean, unfortunately, Stars and Scrubs is not the desired path for me this week, so I'm not going to be down here a ton. But I do have some guys that I like. I mean, first, Nick Hardy. He treated us pretty well at the Fortnite, 6.9K. Brian Stewart at 6.9K. Hudson Swafford I like. Our boy Vince Whaley, does he get back on track? I mean, it's been a rough ride. He treated us well for a long time. Fresh start for him, 6.8K. It looks like he's been playing pretty well on the Corn Ferry Tour. Maybe a little Free Willy here. Vince Whaley at 6.8K. Kevin Tway was a guy I was playing a little bit at the end there, 6.8K. I do like him. Our boy Chesson's in the field down there at 6.6. Man, I want to play him. I don't know. Maybe Chesson is a possible play for me. Doc Redmond, 6.5K, kind of throwing him into the same category as like a Matty Wolf. Fresh start. Last year was not great for him. The year before was pretty good. 6.5K in this field. I want a little bit of him. Another guy at 6.5K that I have to bring up is my boy Richie Wierenski in the field here, 6.5K. I'm going to give him a chance. Wyndham Clark at 6.4K. It's been a rough ride for him, but I definitely have some interest. I thought there was one more I saw down here. I think that's about it for me. But like I said, a lot of viable options down here. Not going to go crazy because I don't like the top tier, top end spends. But I will have some exposure down here.
Yeah, I was doing a little reading on our boy Chesson Hadley and how he's recently, I think, hired a new swing coach. He's kind of focusing on the fundamentals, focusing on getting back to the position that he was in at the Palmetto Championship, and just one of his goals. Just in this interview I saw, it was like that was his tournament to lose, and he dusted. Oh, he just pissed off.
That's exactly what he did.
But you gotta like how he finished. I think he's going to be grinding. I think he's going to be motivated early and often. So like I have him as an extreme leverage play. But I mean, you never know. You never know at all. Snyder, talk to me about the 6K range this week.
Yeah, the first guy that really stands out to me is this Grayson Sig. I mean, when you look at his odds and whatnot, 65-1 on DraftKings Sportsbook, great odds for his price tag. He's done real well in this PGA Tour starts as well. He's coming off that 30th place finish at the Fortnite, gained strokes across the board in that event, so I like going to him this week. I always like going to Sahith Theegala right here, 6.8. Another high upside young gun here, gained nearly 5 strokes to the green this last event, but the putter kind of overcame things there. He lost over 4 strokes putting. Definitely like his upside here. Kevin Tway, I was on him towards the end of the year. He did well, so I'll definitely have interest in him. Denny McCarthy, he's another cheap guy with elite course history here. T6, T18, and a T7 in his last 3 trips here. I think he's a strong option down in this low 6K range. JT Poston, I think he could get some steam here. He's got really good course history, made the cut in his last 5 times. He finished 3rd last season here. So I think he'll be kind of popular possibly. But yeah, I don't really like too many of these guys in this range, as I feel like I will be more on that even build type route this week. So those are just some names that I'm looking at right now. I'll be interested to hear what the notebook play is from AP. I got to get that guy in.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah, always got to go with the notebook.
I think you guys both mentioned him, but Grayson Sig, and it's not even close, to be honest.
65-1. Wow.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this can't be right. Maybe the ownership projections I'm looking at are drunk, but 3.4%. I mean, this guy is. I mean, he was a multiple winner on the Korn Ferry Tour. Very consistent, a ton of upside. Consistently gaining strokes. He looks good. And then it's backed by Vegas giving him a 65-1 tag, and he's 6.9K. That's, as we often say, tasty. And I hope that his ownership is going to be low. I think you got to wonder if this is kind of wrong. But you never know. I mean, people, as we said, maybe people aren't diving in as deep as they should be this week. So he's a guy that could anchor your builds. And I'm just thinking in MME formats, if I get him at like maybe 25 to 30% right there, he's going to hit all the combinations that I want with my other key guys. So and I'm going to be extremely overweight the field on him. But if he busts, I'm leaving myself plenty of outs too. So for me, it checks so many different boxes as a value play in MME formats. Adam Schenk, another guy, 80-1. He's 6'7". I mean, this is a guy that he could easily be like 7-1. And I think that we'd have some consideration. These are guys that I think are up there with Patrick Rogers, in my opinion. And that's why I want to fade Patty Rod. Rory Sabatini's the other guy I really got to talk about. He was the other consideration for the notebook play. He's played this event 4 times, made the cut all 4 times, 12th here last year, 20th in 2019. And then he has another T17 in 2013. Here's the thing. Ever since he won that silver medal, he followed it up with a top 10 at the Wyndham. And then I don't have it on hand. Snyder, I mean, maybe you have it. I know he has multiple other solid finishes too, kind of worldwide, since his silver medal at the Olympics. And so the other thing that he did, and I was reading about, and I don't fully understand it, but it had something to do with his exemption status. He opted in for something. And again, I don't fully understand it, but he didn't need to, but he did, because it allows him to dictate his schedule for the season. And I thought that was interesting, because I think I think he wants to ride the momentum that he's currently on. And so I think he makes for a really nice value play this week. I think his game is really on point, and it's not showing when you're looking at kind of his basic stats right now. So I think this is a guy that kind of your optimizers and your projections are going to be a little bit behind on. So Sabatini's a guy that I'm going to be overweight on as well. One other guy, and it's not Chesson Hadley, but it's Kevin Tway. I believe he is a former winner here. I know his win came on the swing season. I don't, let me look. I'll have to find that. But Kevin Tway, he needs to take advantage of the swing season. And his game is decent right now. He ranks fourth in par 5 scoring, 6th in driving distance. So he's another bomber, kind of fits the mold. And no, he has not won here. I forget where he won. I'll think about it. It'll come to me. It might have actually been out in Hawaii. I know it'll come to me. But this is a guy that he's made 4 of his last 5 cuts. He was decent at the Fortinet Championship, T30 there. I don't think he's going to get a lot of buzz either, because if you look at his Vegas odds, 180 to 1. So I think he's a guy that people are going to overlook. But when you look at his game, he's kind of in decent form right now. So, and we haven't been able to say that since like 2018, 2019. It's been a long time since he was playing good golf, and I think he's playing decent golf right now. So those are a few of the guys that I really like in this range. I got to say my 1, though, is Grayson Sigg, and I got to say my 2 is Rory Sabatini. Snyder, what was your 1 and 2 down in this range?
I'm going to go Grayson Sigg 1 for sure, and then probably Sahith Theegala is going to be my number 2.
I like that. Hoop, your 1 and 2.
I'm going to go Hardy. I like Nick Hardy. You guys definitely talked me on to Sig. I hope the ownership stays low on him. So I'll still say Hardy 1, and then 2, I'm going to go, let's see. Number 2 is Kevin. I'm going to go to Kevin Tway. I like Kevin Tway this week.
So he won, Tway, he won the Fortinet Championship in 18, but it wasn't called that then. What was it called? It was called the but it was in the swing season, so it doesn't matter. It's a guy that just seems to pop during the swing season, and that's when he gets his work done. And then when he gets to the regular season, he just sucks. So you got to get on him now. You got to play him now. So all right, boys. I like where we're at. Let's head into our winners, and we'll wrap the show up in tidy fashion. Snyder, do you have your winners ready?
I'm going to go with I had it. Now I can't find it. I'm going to go with Mito Pereira as my winner.
He's going to get a win. Can you bet a future on him? Like we'll win a PGA Tour event? That would be an interesting
I'm not sure.
event.
Yeah, that'd be definitely. I mean, I'm not sure what odds you could get, like the full season wise, you think? Are you talking?
Yeah, I mean,
that'd be
you'd think that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Who do you have for the winners this week?
Kind of up top, I'm gonna go with Tringali. Really like him.
Oh man, I got him on my fade list. I always fade his ass, man.
I love Tringali.
I know.
We're usually on the same
top
page.
20. Yeah, I think Tringali's a good, solid, like top 20, top 30 guy.
Isn't he a Texas guy, or is that old news?
It might
be.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe I'll take him out.
Bring him back in that play. Bring him back in that player pool.
Right,
he's gonna treat us well this week.
Yeah, he's in the player pool, I think. Yeah. So,
and then my second guy that I think has a chance, and I don't know what the odds are. I'm assuming probably 50 or 60 to 1. Matty Wolf. I mean, I kind of feel good about him in this field. Fresh start, fresh season here, new start. Give me a Matty Wolf at probably 50 or 60 to 1.
He's at 40 to 1 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah, 40 to 1, whatever.
Mito is at 35. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. So
I like that. Those are good calls. I'm gonna go Keegan Bradley. I think Keegan's gonna break through. He's gonna get a win, book it early in the season. And if not Keegan, I think it's gonna be Carlos the Kid Ortiz. I like those two guys. I'm going to be very overweight on them in MMA formats. I think this is going to be a fun event. Snyder, I think you hit the nail on the head. Manage your bankroll this week. We got NFL, we have MLB. There's a lot going on, college football. So like, don't go all in on one sport. Make sure you're being disciplined and smart with what you're getting into. But the contests are really nice this week. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm in there and have, somewhat of my normal builds going on. And I think that's the approach that I'm going to take. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's down there in the right-hand corner, that red button. It's going to help us to keep this free for each and all of you each and every week. If you're not a member, we have a promo code RPS Heater 25. That's going to get you 25% off your first payment here at Run Pure Sports. We have all the golf, most of the golf content's up right now. Core plays will be up tomorrow. Cash chart will be up tomorrow. Playbook's up. Tiers are going to be up by tomorrow. Coop's article is already out. It's on there on the site. Go ahead and read that. We have a ton of NFL content coming out every day. We got shows every day. We have free articles every single day. We have MMA coming up this week, college football, literally everything. And the team's hot right now. We had a 20K winner in the soccer streets today. Shout out to Jaime, our guy, just crushing it over there. I know Susie had some big tennis winners. So, and what I'm getting at is we have all of this for one price over here. We're not, we're not going and charging you sport by sport or anything like that. One price, all the content, and we're going to get you squared away, and we're going to get you running pure. For me, AP, Snyder, Hoop, Simon, get us out of here.